Welcome back to another episode of the EPL Debate Show. I'm Sully here again with you guys, and this week we will discuss the last game week 5. We'll also look ahead to game week 6. We do have our special fans' perspective for the Chelsea Arsenal clash, and as usual, I will be giving out the fantasy tips for the upcoming game week. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. All right, so game week 5 started out at Goodison Park. Chelsea traveling to Everton, 3-1 home victory for Everton, and it was as comfortable as you can expect Everton to be at home against a top 4 team. Another shocking performance, terrible performance from Chelsea. Defensively, they just still look lost. They do not know what they're doing. The bridge between the back four and the two protecting defensive midfielders, it's as open as the Red Sea. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. Mourinho brought in Matic and Mikel in a bid to kind of steady the ship a little bit, but it didn't make a difference. Everton had all sorts of space in between the back four and those two defensive line midfielders. So with them being 11 points behind City right now, it's really looking bad and really bleak for them to mount a serious title challenge and repeat as champion. So my prediction as well is not looking good, and you can see the manager really looks under pressure. So we'll see how they adjust the things as the season progresses. Going on to the Emirates, Arsenal hosting Stoke ended 2-0 with Walcott and Giroud on the score sheet there. Comfortable victory for the home side. Could have been more, but at the end of the day, 2 goals, 3 points, that's all they need. And getting Giroud on the score sheet, especially with the past 2 weeks that he's had, he's definitely needed a goal to kind of get his confidence going. City traveled to Crystal Palace, and I thought Crystal Palace would have posed a little bit of threat to their winning streak, but it still ended up with City grabbing all 3 points in the 90th minute through the young Nigerian Nacho with the rebound. So good win for them, 5 points at the top of the table. They looked the part this year, and they look like potential champions right now. A couple of surprising results as well. We had one at Norwich with Bournemouth visiting Carroll Road. I thought with both of them being in the championship last year and Bournemouth being the eventual champions, they would have grabbed all 3 points. But it looks like Norwich is getting the points they need and scoring the goals they need as well. So 3-1 there, a comfortable victory for them as well. And then Swansea. I don't know what to say about Swansea right now. They play the best football at home, but for some reason they play really bad away from home. We saw them at Sunderland as well, going ahead and then conceding a goal, losing 2 points. And the same thing happened last week. They pretty much wet the bed and lost all 3 points with another Nigerian Igalo grabbing all 3 points for the home side. So if they're to mount any serious European ambitions, they definitely need to bridge that performance gap between their home form and away from, if they're really looking to be in the at least Europa League next year. Um, Another good result was and a good game was United against Liverpool. I did predict a 2 goal victory for the home side. It didn't end up being 2-0, but it was a 3-1 victory. Liverpool, I don't know. The way that they just set up the side at the beginning of the game, I saw 2 strikers, so I thought, hey, the manager is going for it there with starting both Benteke and Danny Ings. But Danny Ings eventually played on the wing, and he's not that pacey of a striker for him to play on the wing. So pretty much the manager just came to defend there, and it cost them the game, because I thought if they had a go at United, especially starting out Jordan Ibe on that left-hand side to take advantage of Mata and Darmian, it would have been a decent game, but it was a shocking performance for Liverpool. Boring first half as well, but in the 45th minute after the substitution with Memphis going off and Young replacing him, United looked a little bit livelier, and that ended up being the difference with them getting the goals they needed to grab all 3 points. And then Spurs got a good away victory at Sunderland as well. Harry Kane still haven't gotten a goal yet this year, but their first win of the season, doesn't matter how it comes. I'm sure Pochettino will take the result the way it is. And then Leicester hosting Aston Villa. Villa throwing out 3 points away as well with 17 minutes left to go. But then again, Leicester keeping their unbeaten start to the season going, scoring 3 goals in 17 minutes. So I'm sure they're flying and they're sky high right now, especially if they look up the table and see that they're right next behind City in second place. So we'll see how they also progress and play as the season progresses. And then the last game on Monday night was the Toon Army traveling to West Ham. Payet there getting both goals. Good performance from the home side, like I thought they would. This is the first time and the first home game that they've actually won. They've had two good victories away at Arsenal and away at Liverpool, but didn't do too well at home. But it was a good victory for them at home. So we'll see how they do as well as the season pans out. So those are my thoughts from game week 2, and game week 5, and we'll look ahead to game week 6, see what the title and the Premier League has for us. All right, so game week 6 starts with Arsenal traveling to Stamford Bridge, a London affair there. Chelsea not playing the best of football right now, but they did get the win today in the Champions League, so I think that should give them a little bit of confidence. And with Arsenal also losing in the Champions League, that might drop their heads down a little bit. The two managers, they're not the best of friends. And we do know that Mourinho has that landslide form as far as his record against Wenger. So I think that plays a part in this, and I'm going for a 2-1 home victory for the home side. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'm right. Villa at West Brom. I think this would end in a 1-1 draw. Both teams not playing the best of football right now, so they should cancel each other out. So it should be a score draw there. Bournemouth hosting Sunderland. I'm going for a 2-1 victory for the home side. Sunderland, they're playing well. Defensively, they've gotten a lot better than the opening week, but they're not scoring enough goals right now to get them the points they need. So I'm going for Bournemouth to bag out 3 points there, and I think Wilson would be a danger guy in this game. Newcastle hosting Watford. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Stoke Leicester. I'm going for a 2-1 victory for Stoke. I know Leicester are having a really good season so far, but I think they haven't really matched up against a physical side like Stoke as far as the season has gone so far. So I'm going for Stoke's physicality to affect things a little bit for Leicester, and they're not the best, of teams away from home as well. So I think Stoke should have enough to get 3 points there. Swansea, Everton. Swansea again, they play really well at home. Everton are the traveling side here, but I'm going for a 2-2 draw here. It should be a really entertaining game with both managers that send their team out to attack. So I think they'll get at each other and produce a lot of goals. But at the end of the day, they'll get a point apiece. City West Ham. City are looking so good right now. I cannot pick against them so far. I did pick against them last week, but they proved me wrong. But at home in the Etihad, they should have enough to see off West Ham. 3-1 victory for City there. Hopefully we get to see the young Nigerian get a little bit of playtime in that game as well. Spurs Crystal Palace. I'm going for a 2-1 victory for Crystal Palace here. I know Spurs just got their first 3 points of the season last week, but their football has not been good at all. It's a little bit boring, and it just looks like they're overthinking things a little bit. So Eriksen and Kane have not gotten things started in the Premier League yet, so I think they struggle at home, especially with Crystal Palace flying high right now with their two wingers. Even though I think the English forward will be absent through injury, but I'm going for a 2-1 victory for Palace here. Liverpool hosting Norwich at Anfield. Liverpool, Coutinho should be back for them. So struggling wise, I think they struggle a little bit in this game as well, but I think they're going to have enough with Coutinho and Benteke, especially with his really great take and go against United. I think they get a 2-0 victory there. And then the last game of the week is United traveling to Southampton. This has been a really difficult tie for United in the past couple of years with them going to St. Mary's. So I think the trend continues here, and I think especially with Luke Shaw being injured in the Champions League, we saw Daley Blind get converted to left back, and the axis between the Smalling and Blind, the axis got broken, and the defense was a little bit shaky there. So I think they continued that trend into this game, and I think a point apiece for both teams with a 1-1 draw. So those are my predictions. All right, so our segment with the two representatives from the Saturday clash, Chelsea hosting Arsenal. We have the returning Mr. Gotti representing the defending champions. And we have our new representative for Arsenal,
How you
Mr.
doing?
Wilfred, all the way from North London. What's going on, lad?
How you doing, man?
All right. So before we get into the matchup for the big game, let's talk about your transfer thoughts so far. How do you think your team did? Go with the defending champion.
I think we did pretty well. I mean, we brought Pedro in, and we also replaced Peter Cech. I feel as if we didn't need Pogba now, but I feel as if it was a lot of money to just solidify our center midfield. So I feel as if Pedro's fine, Begovic is great, and we didn't have to do any more business.
Okay. All right. Mr. Arsenal.
I feel like Arsenal did good business. We got the best goalkeeper in the market. Thank you, Chelsea, for making that happen, though. But I feel like we got the best goalkeeper in the market, probably in the world at that point. And there was really no sense paying 50 million for Cavani or paying 60 million for 28-year-old Benzema. So I feel like we did good business. And in January, if somebody pops up, we'll be more than happy to snag them if they're at the right price. I know our fans are always shouting, "No, sign somebody, sign somebody." We signed Welbeck in the last transfer window, and he's not even available for us. What if we sign somebody and it happens again? So let's let the team chemistry. Let's see what happens when our team has chemistry, and let's get behind the team as Arsenal supporters.
All right. Come on, you Gunners. All right. So season so far for Arsenal. Currently sitting in fourth position. Usual spot, or you think that's going to change?
That's definitely going to change. I still tip Arsenal to win the league.
Okay. Bold prediction.
That's my team. And also, I feel like, how should I put it? For we Arsenal, we had a disappointing first game of the season, but we're able to fix that and move on. And I feel like it only gets better from here. That's what I feel.
Okay. Mr. Chelsea. Fighting relegation right now.
Our season has been poor. So I feel as if our defense is crazy. We're conceding too many goals. Our midfield is not protecting our defense. Even our attackers were not scoring that many goals as well, and we're not gelling. But after today's victory in Champions League, I feel as if we can use that momentum, confidence to move on to the next game. And hopefully we can use Arsenal as our stepping stone into a long run of games.
So you think your tires are going to get inflated, or you need new sets of tires?
At least we're not fighting relegation.
Yeah.
Don't worry, our tires are fine. Don't worry, our tires are fine.
Alrighty. So just in general, what do you think we've seen so far this season in the Premier League? We've had some pretty good teams and pretty bad teams as well.
I think we've seen what we always see in the Premier League at the beginning of the season. Everything is it's uppity, it's fast paced, and we see all the low teams getting up points, showing us that they can actually challenge. But we know that at the end of the day, the table doesn't set in stone until March. So let's wait till then.
Okay.
I feel like the Premier League has been interesting as is always in the beginning of the season. The lower teams, as Gotti said, try to prove themselves, and Leicester and Swansea have been pretty good, and they've been pretty impressive. I see Swansea carrying that form the whole season, not necessarily be top 4, top 5, but I feel like they'll be top 10 this season, and I feel like the goals probably might dry up soon for Gomez when everybody starts to when all the Premier League defenders start to get their rhythm again. But I feel like this season has been an exciting start, and I feel like it will only get better. And also, I feel like I don't know why I'm saying this, but for Man City, I feel like they also need to prove to us that they can be champions without Kun Aguero. So if Kun is injured for a certain amount of time, like they need to be able to win games because they clearly struggled over the weekend against Crystal Palace, and this is not even like Crystal Palace that is fighting relegation, or this is not a team that is fighting relegation. So how would they struggle at the end of the season when teams are fighting relegation? Would they be able to, give us the goals to become champions? So that's something we have to see.
Okay, interesting thoughts. So we'll jump right into our next segment with the match reflection. All right, so down to the main event for this game week. Arsenal traveling to Stamford Bridge. No love lost between both teams and both sets of managers. So let's go with the setup, the formation and personnel, starting with Chelsea.
We're going to start from the back. We're going to have Bekovic in goal because Courtois is injured. The two center backs, Terry and Cahill, maybe Zuma will partner with Terry. Our two full backs, either Aspilicueta or Baba, or it's going to be Ivanovic on the right or Aspilicueta on the left. Our DM is either going to be Loftus-Cheek or Matic because Loftus-Cheek played very well today. So if Mourinho's going to give him going to give him the start tomorrow, hey, I'll be happy with that as well. But he may go with the traditional, just put Matic there. Our two central midfielders, Oscar and Fabregas. Hazard on the left, Remy or Ramirez on the right because Willian and Pedro are injured, and we're going to have Costa up front.
Okay, an inverted 4-3-3 from the defending champions hosting Arsenal. So let's go with the visiting team.
I feel like Czech will take his place back and go. Bellerin, obviously right back. Gabriel, or if Mertesacker is fit, I'll pick the experience of Mertesacker over Gabriel, Koscielny, and Morel. Then Coquelin and Cazorla. Coquelin, of course, as the DM, and Cazorla, plays that sitting back and attack role. Then for on the right, we have Ramsey. And that number 9 role, the playmaker role, we have Ozil. Then Sanchez. Then Jude as the main striker. I feel like the manager still wants to restore his faith in Jude, so probably give him the nod to start over Walcott. I'll go for Arsenal's traditional 4-2-3-1 formation.
Okay, 4-2-3-1 from the visiting side. So we have Ramsey and Oscar clearly marked there as the key guys for the two teams there. So Arsenal, tell us why Ramsey is going to be key in this game.
Ramsey is going to be key in this game because I put him to start on the right originally, but I feel like his ability to pop up in different areas of the field to create plays will be an added advantage for us because we know that sometimes Cesc is not always that much of a defensive player. So Ramsey being able to plug into the holes can help us, and I feel like at some point in the game the manager is going to put speed on the right to Walker or Oxlade might be on the right, and Ramsey will get a more central role.
Okay, all right. Chelsea.
I feel as if Oscar is going to be our main player today because I feel as if since Hazard has been off his game for about a little while, so just give him time, less pressure off him. I feel as if Oscar has a lot to prove. Just like Mourinho said, this season, beginning of the season, that his revolution is going to start because he has been playing so many games, even over the summertime. So I feel like this time, since he was injured over the summer, he's been with us. He's been training well. So I feel as if this is his time to show us, yes, that he can be the main man for us this season.
Okay. Alrighty. So now down to the main course meal. What is your match prediction, Chelsea?
All right. The Premier League different from the Champions League.
I think it's scared.
Premier League different from Champions League. So I'm going to say 3-1. 3-1 to Chelsea.
Wow.
3-1 to Chelsea.
Wow. Okay. Even with the broken tires, he's going for a 3-1. Arsenal.
Wow. So what would you have been if the tires were not broken? I feel like the Arsenal it's gonna be a tight game because Chelsea, obviously have a lot to prove in this game. So I feel like we're just going to nick it 2-1. And my goal scorers in this game are Sanchez and maybe Giroud with the second goal.
Okay. So a 2-1 away victory from the Arsenal fan, a 3-1 home victory for the home side in the Chelsea fan. Thanks, Mr. Wilfred, and thanks, Mr. Gotti, for your match predictions and analysis.
Thank you.
All right, so predictions for fantasy for game week 6. Just a quick look back at game week 5, another horrible performance from me with my selections. I thought Swansea would have been good enough for a clean sheet away at Watford, but they're just struggling away from home right now, so we'll see how that goes with them traveling next week. And then Harry Kane against Sunderland, his partnership with Ericsson is not reaping any benefits right now, but I think he's definitely looking sharper and he will be getting goals soon. So for my goals this week, or performance-wise, if you're looking for a goal or an assist, I'm going for John Joe Shelby against Everton there. I think this is going to be a really good game with Swansea hosting Everton. It's going to be two attacking teams going at each other, and with the crouching tiger and Gomez there, I wouldn't put him past him to get a goal against the Everton defense. But I think John Joe Shelby would be key in unlocking things for them and probably popping an assist. So I'm going for John Joe Shelby there. If you're really banking on a clean sheet for this week, even though I'm tipping West Ham to get a goal at City, I think that might just be a blank out for City as well, for West Ham, because City are looking defensively strong this year in the Premier League, even though that streak did end for the season in the Champions League with them considering two with Juventus visiting. So I think if you're really good in need of a clean sheet, I'll get a City defender. So hopefully those are good enough to take to the bank. All right, that's the show for this week. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to follow the EPL Debate Show on Twitter, and also subscribe to the YouTube page. And I'll see you guys right back here next week. Have a good one.